Hi, I'm Julie Twynham, and today we're going to do some of my favorite noodle exercises. Remember to have a closed cell noodle so it doesn't absorb water and it doesn't cause havoc to your filter or end up in the landfill. So this is a good purple super noodle. We're just going to start with a little side-to-side rock. And this helps people learn to lean in the water and potentially get their shoulders a little bit more under the water, which is helpful for protection. Again, the noodle is more for assistance, so it's good and stable. I can lean a little bit more. This is excellent for your core abdominal strength. Okay, if you want to work a little bit harder, just dip the noodle under the water and push it side to side. Again, at any time, you can let the noodle float and come back to the surface of the water. Be sure to keep your elbows soft or bent, whether you're under or on top of the water. Now, if you're ready for a challenge, let's take the noodle under the arms. Be sure to tuck the elbows down, and we're going to do what's called a pendulum. And we are going to not really go side to side, but on a diagonal down towards the bottom of the pool. That's a little harder to control and balance. And if you want to work even harder, we can take the legs to a diamond position. So that disengages your hip flexors. You have to work more abdominals and core. I hope you're breathing. This is a great exercise to put in the warm-up so that you can start working on core posture and balance. The next exercise I'm going to show is what's called a rock and roll. So again, you can just lean forward and relax back. Reach a little further forward and then back. The noodle is floating on top of the water. Gives people a little bit more stability and balance, and of course range of motion. If you want to work a little harder, push and pull the noodle under the water. Be sure to squeeze the shoulders back as you pull the noodle back. And if you want to pick it up a little bit more, you can tuck the noodle under, again, the arms, and you're going to do what we call Superman and suntan. So you're going to go on an incline, forward, prone, and then tuck, and then to that L position, or a seated L position. Breathe. Again, if you want to work a little bit harder, you can use the noodle to pull in and hold, relax, crunch, and hold. That's the hard part, to hold and push and crunch. Everybody loves working their abdominals, so all of those progressions will help you to strengthen and work your rectus abdominis. Another one that's a little easier if you can't do the suntan Superman is put your hands in a prayer position on top of the noodle, and you're going to just crunch the noodle, bringing the ribs to the hips, tucking the belly button to the backbone, rounding the spine. If that's too easy, let's take it more into a plank. Again, anchor the noodle under the water so you have some resistance as you crunch in, and then relax out. Crunch and relax out. Always going suspended is a little bit harder. This is going to be really hard to do your suntan Superman. And again, you're slowing it down, controlling, try not to let the legs break the surface of the water. And if you need to touch the toes down, not a problem. Again, depending on your buoyancy, how much body fat you have, you may be more of a floater. So again, you can always just tap your feet down to the bottom of the pool or 1 foot down and hold and tap. All right, great. Another great exercise is holding one hand with the arm straight down to the side of the body and just crunching and relaxing up. Crunch the ribs to the hips and relax up. I may be exaggerating a little bit because I want you to see that my waist has to crunch. My elbow is not bending. Crunch and relax. Crunch and relax. Okay. Now realize with that exercise, you're going to have to try the other side to balance out. Crunch and stand up. Crunch and stand up. So it's a little harder if the opposite leg is in front in your athletic stance as you crunch. It's a little easier, same leg, same arm. But you try both because both are great exercises. Okay. From there, we'll go back to the first side. A little progression is just taking the ankles up towards the noodle. Crunch and stand up. Crunch and stand up. Crunch and stand up. Normally we try and perform at least 8 to 25 reps so that the muscle works to fatigue and it rebuilds and gets stronger. Let's try the other side. Crunch and stand up. Crunch and stand up. If you can sit, you can do it. Bring those ribs to the hips. Push down. The noodle is really coming along for the ride. So you're not doing arm work. You're adding a crunch with the waist. Okay. Let's go to the next exercise. If you lightly hold the noodle, just however it's comfortable. Sometimes people wrap their thumbs, sometimes people keep the thumbs with the fingers, whatever feels good. So we are in athletic stance, 1 foot in front of the other, standard stance, and we're going to squeeze the noodle in a horseshoe behind the back. Squeeze the noodle behind the back. Feel those latissimus dorsi muscles engage. Those are important for helping you to maintain your upright body position. Again, you can change lead legs, try some on the other side. In doing so, you get a nice stretch of that hip of the rear leg. Working a little bit harder, you're going to add a kick as you squeeze the noodle down. If you can't lift the leg, you can just simply tap the heel down to the bottom of the pool. Again, always choose your best range of motion that feels good on your body. It's not a competition. The important thing is to go home without any problems, any injuries. So we're working on strength. We're going to control the movement, squeeze the noodle together, and especially as we go down under the water. If you're ready for an advanced progression, we can add what's called a flutter kick as we squeeze the noodle. And the legs are pushing me back, and I'm squeezing into that noodle. Squeezing into the noodle. Squeezing into the noodle. You can feel your core on this exercise because I've got to sit up. And that's always an advanced exercise when you can engage your abdominals a little bit more. Okay, let's go back to a little side-to-side stretch. Dip the shoulders under. That feels great. And let's just try a little stretch. We're using the noodle as a balance. Shake out the water, reach up and over towards the noodle. Let it float across, shake it out, reach up and across towards the noodle. Excellent. Feel your back stretch. Again, a little bit of mobility for the upper body. A little bit of mobility for the lower body, the inner thighs. Great. Let's try an exercise where you're going to have to suspend your feet off the bottom of the pool in what we call a chair position. The arms will do a little figure of 8 skull to balance. From there, we can take it into an L sit. Flex your ankles, feel a nice stretch. The back of the thighs, behind the knees, into the calves, into the low back and glutes. From there, we'll just take the toes down to the bottom of the pool. And you'll feel a nice stretch all through your abdominals. And this is a nice extension for your spine, a normal range. However, if it's not for you, let's just take it back to here. You can always modify an exercise, and that's the most important concept to understand. If it doesn't feel right, then take the intensity or the range of motion or the speed a little bit less or lower so that you do no harm. I hope you have a fit day and keep working at a variety of exercises. Water recommends that you invest in great closed cell noodles. Not only will you have a better workout, but you will save a lot of money on changing or fixing your pool filter. Closed cell noodles do not absorb water and thereby do not break apart. Enjoy our new closed cell purple noodles.